والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. فسبحانك اللهم لا علم لنا إلا ما علمتنا إنك أنت العليم الحكيم. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. أما بعد، فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله، وخير الهدي هدي محمد رسول الله، وشر الأمور محدثاتها، وكل محدثة بدعة، وكل بدعة ضلالة، وكل ضلالة في النار، عياذا بالله. أسأل الله أن يجعل اجتماعنا هذا اجتماعا مرحوما، وتفرقنا بعده تفرقا معصوما، وألا يجعل فينا شقيا ولا محروما، آمين. إخوة الإيمان، السلام alaykum warahmotulahi wabarakatuh. All praises be to Almighty Allah, the Lord of the magnificent throne, the Lord of the entire universe, the Lord of all that is created, the Creator that is not created, meaning the uncreated Creator. Allah, in His infinite mercy, has blessed you and I with the blessings of Islam. May Allah not take this blessing away from us. May Allah continue to guide us on the right path and make us steadfast upon the millah, that is upon the way of Allah and the sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam till the end of time. Ameen. We beseech Allah's blessings upon Nabiullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam and upon his household, upon his companions, and all those that tread his path till the day of reckoning. Alhamdulillah, it's my pleasure again being here with you in this episode of lessons from Suratu Yusuf, today being 19th day of Ramadan. 19th day of Ramadan, 1441 years after the hijrah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Medina, which coincides with the 12th day of the 5th month of the year 2020 according to the Gregorian calendar. Do not forget, we are approaching the last 10 days of Ramadan. Do not forget Laylatul Qadr. Seek Laylatul Qadr according to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in the last 10 nights of Ramadan. Yes, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said we should seek more in the odd nights, but do not relent in the even nights too. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam initially said the first 10 nights. Be active in the first 10 nights. Seek the blessing of Allah in these last 10 nights. May Allah grant our heart desires, our righteous heart desires. Do not forget to chant Allahumma innaka afuwun tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Do not forget, it is the night of Laylatul Qadr. Allah will destine all that has to do with you for the next 1 year. Your budget, let's put it that way, the yearly budget would be made in the night of Laylatul Qadr. Your destiny, all that will happen to you in the next 1 year, will be attached to occurrences in the night of Laylatul Qadr. So whatever you want Allah to do for you, you have the opportunity. That practice of yours of waiting till December 31st or even Zulhijjah, end of Zulhijjah, has nothing to do with Islam. Wallahu al-musta'an. May Allah guide us aright, and may Allah accept our dua. Now, back to the lessons from Suratu Yusuf. Yesterday we were able to make us understand some relationship between the life of Nabiullah Yusuf and the life of Nabiullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and also why this surah is so full of statements to comfort a sorrowful person, someone in grief, someone that is sad. We told us that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sent this surah down specifically in a unique way just to comfort Nabiullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from his sorrow. And also we are able to make us understand that circumstances will change as life goes on. As we move on in life, circumstances will change. But one thing about you must not change, and that is your righteousness, your ihsan. You must be a good person, a muhsin, a righteous doer, no matter the circumstance you find yourself. We found that all the circumstances Nabiullah Yusuf found himself, he remained a righteous person. When he was with his father, he was regarded as a righteous person. When he found himself in the well, when dunya, one of the challenges, we stated the 3 challenges we are to face in this world. We have the challenge of the nafs, those are our enemies, the nafs, the soul, dunya itself, the worldly affairs, and all that is contained in right there. Then number 3 is shaitan itself. Shaitan, all these 3 challenges are likely to come from these 3 places, which Nabiullah Yusuf passed through all these, and he remained a muhsin in all these situations. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala regarded him, even when his situation changed from his first challenge of leaving home, losing his loved ones, losing his father, losing the company of his father. He lost his mother long before then. He was no more in the midst of his family. He couldn't see his brother anymore. Then he got to a situation where Allah uplifted him into another place. He made his stay honorable when he was bought out of he was bought by his master that decided to honor him. Allah regarded him as muhsin. Allah said, وَكَذَلِكَ نَجْزِي الْمُحْسِنِينَ. He happens to be one of the righteous ones, a righteous doer. Then even when he got into the prison, those right in the prison also called him a righteous doer. Even when he rose to that peak level, he became the Aziz. His brothers also regarded him as a muhsin. His righteousness remained the same. It did not go down. Rather, it went up in terms of righteousness. He remained a muhsin. And the same to Nabiullah Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. When he was a child, he was regarded as a muhsin, a righteous person, before he became prophet. Even when he became prophet, he faced a lot of challenges and the likes. He was still regarded as a muhsin. When Malakul Jibril appeared to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what did the wife say? Khadija, what did she say to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? She said, "You are a righteous man. You love the poor ones. You keep to promises." She started mentioning his good characters, his good qualities. You uphold the ties of kinship. He was known as a muhsin, a righteous doer, even before prophethood. When he became a prophet, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam was still regarded as a muhsin. And when Allah granted him that power, that control over a lot of people, when Allah granted him Fathu Mecca, you know how many people? He left Mecca, himself and Sayyidina Abu Bakr, so lonely. They left quietly, hiding from people. And when Allah will return them back to Mecca, they returned with multitudes of people. Multitudes of people, Allah granted them Fathu Mecca. And yet we never read any narration where Nana Aisha radiallahu anha had reported that, oh, the Prophet was nice before he became so and so. The moment he had more people under his followership, under his leadership, more people being his followers, then he changed from being righteous to another thing. We never read such. But most of us, the moment we live our hardship times, those are the times we tend to know Allah more. Those are the times we get closer to Allah the more. The moment we leave that stage, we get to the stage of affluence, we start losing our righteousness. Some people are being told when they become prosperous, when they get to the level of prosperity, they are being told, we miss your poor days. We miss when you used to be poor. What does that mean? When you used to be poor, when you had nothing, you were humble, you were righteous, you were good. Now you are arrogant. Now you are proud. A lot of us find ourselves in this category. Affluence does not need to change your spirituality. Is not meant to change your level of righteousness. You have to constantly remain a muhsin. That affluence is a test from Allah. As Nabiullah Yusuf too got to that level of affluence, Allah has made his stay honorable. He was getting good care, good attention, good everything from all sources, and yet that problem of nafs, the soul, came in. He was to be tested with the challenge of his soul. And same thing happens to us when we get affluent, when we get to the level of prosperity, when we get prosperous, then we start facing issues of the mind, issues of the soul, which are sicknesses of the soul, pride, arrogance, and everything. That's sicknesses of the soul. And even we start reducing our level of spirituality. We mentioned this level of hijab reducing, your salah not consistent anymore. Allah is blessing you with money now. You have more risk now. You are forgetting Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And Allah wants to hear your voice in dua. He wants to hear you pray. Then, if it is already known that it is when you are in penury, you are in adversity, you call upon Allah more. Then you face more challenge of adversity because Allah wants to hear your voice. So some of us will lose our level of hijab for females. Your level of some don't wear socks anymore. You start talking about work does not permit me to do this and that. The males will cut off their beards and things like this. All these are tests from Allah. You must remain righteous. Your level of spirituality must not go down. Rather, it should keep increasing as circumstances go by till we meet our Lord. وَعْبُدُ رَبَّكَ حَتَّى يَأْتِيَكَ الْيَقِينُ. Now, moving forward, the challenge of Nabiullah Yusuf, the wife of his master, seducing him. Who was that master? That master was Al-Aziz. He occupied the position of Al-Aziz in Misr. Al-Aziz is also like the position of a minister, Al-Wazir, a minister. But that position happened to be the strongest minister next to the Malik, the king. So the man that brought him then to Misra was actually Al-Aziz. It was the wife, the name of the man is said to be Malik bin Daghar, bin Thawib, bin Infaqa, bin Madian, bin Ibrahim. That happened to be, that's what is reported to be the name of the man. The wife is said to be Ra'il, bin Ra'il. Some said she is Zalikha, but in the most popular opinion, it is said that that happens to be a nickname. She too was from a noble home. In fact, she is said to be a niece to the king of that time, the king of Misra of that time. She was a niece. And you know, those from royal families, you know who they are. In terms of beauty, in terms of everything, she had it. And she tempted Nabiullah Yusuf with all this. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved Nabiullah Yusuf from this situation. Allah said he was the one that saved him. كَذَلِكَ لِنَصْرِفَ عَنْهُ السُّوءَ وَالْفَحْشَاءَ. And that was why we said we must continue to beg Allah to not make us fall into the pit of evil doings or indecencies. It is only Allah that can save you. No matter who you are, no matter how a sheikh you may be. And whenever you find yourself in that situation, the first thing you need to do is seek Allah's protection as Nabiullah Yusuf did. After which you make other efforts, other moves to escape from there. Do not remain in that place. Do not remain there so that the temptation will not continue. We told us that it's recommended you can be making dua to Allah, saying Allahumma isrif anni su'a wal fahsha waj'alni min ibadika al mukhlasin. Oh Allah, avert away from me evils and indecencies and make me one of your righteous servants, one of your sincere worshippers. Nabiullah Yusuf, what did he do? Wastabaqa al-bab, he ran away. He started moving towards the door, and she ran along with him. They raced, the both of them, they compete towards the door. وَقَدَّتْ قَمِيصَهُ مِنْ دُبُرٍ. As she was trying to stop him from approaching the door, she dragged him from behind, which made his clothes tear from behind. وَأَلْفَيَا سَيِّدَهَا لَدَى الْبَابِ. The moment Nabiullah Yusuf got to the door to escape, to open the door and escape, who did he meet? He met his master, the husband of his seducer. That is Al-Aziz. He met him right at the door. And what happened? Subhanallah. The woman quickly changed the situation. Someone that was seducing another person. Immediately, what did she say when she saw her husband? قالت ما جزاء من أراد بأهلك سوءا إلا أن يسجن. Yes. What will be the reward? That's what she said. What will be the reward of someone that wishes evil for his people, for his family, except that such a person is to be imprisoned? She has changed the story. Allah Akbar. We are coming to talk about the schemings of women. Illa an yusjan, except she is being imprisoned, or is being punished with a severe punishment. Now she has turned the table around, accusing Nabiullah Yusuf of the one wishing her evil, wanting to carry out evil with her. Before we move on here, there's something we need to learn. What happened to Nabiullah Yusuf at this point is so honorable and is highly rewarding before Allah. Nabiullah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam told us, he said, Sab'atu yudhilluhumullahu fi dhillihi yawma la dhilla illa dhilluh. There are some 7 categories of people. When we say 7 categories of people, we do not mean 7 people alone. The qualities is what we are referring to. Whoever has any of these 7 qualities will be found in this. So 7 categories of people will be under the shades of Allah. Under the shade of Allah. يَوْمَ لَا ظِلَّ إِلَّا ظِلُّهُ. On the day that no shade will be useful. There will be no shade at all except the shade of Allah. And what day is that? The day of judgment. The day will be exposed directly to sunlight. Look at how far the sun is away from us. We still shout, oh, it's sunny. Oh, this sun can do this and that. They will tell you, do not get out, don't go out at some times in the day because of the havoc the sun could do to you. But that day, apart from being raised naked by Allah, the sun will be directed to us, brought so close to us. People will be swimming in their own sweat because of the intense of the heat and punishment before Allah commences even judgment. Those that will be under the shade of Allah, the day there will be no other shade except the shade of Allah, are these 7 categories of people. One of them, Imamun Adilun, a just Imam. A just Imam. There is nothing, this is the only place being an Imam has a hope in it. There is no other place that gives you a hope in you being an Imam except in this hadith. Rather, you have more scary things. Things like you being questionable. You'll be questioned by Allah over the responsibility of you being a leader. But this one is making you understand, if you strive as much as possible to be a just leader, then you will be under the shade of Allah, where no shade will be useful except the shade of Allah. How many just leaders do we have today? Number 2, وَرَجُلٌ ذَكَرَهُ اللَّهُ خَالِيًا ذَكَرَ اللَّهَ خَالِيًا. The second person is someone that remembered Allah secretly, alone, فَفَاضَتْ عَيْنَاهُ, and his eyes became filled with tears because of the remembrance of Allah. He sat down, either reciting the Quran, making dua, doing adhkar, or pondering on the creations of Allah. He sat down looking at the heavens, how Allah created them, looking at the earth, how Allah created them, looking at the wonders in the world, and he sat down shedding tears out of the fear of Allah. Such a person will be under the shade of Allah when there will be no shade useful except the shade of Allah. Some people will look at others reciting the Quran, maybe an Imam that is fond of when reciting the Quran, he sheds tears at some point. We wonder, what's he reading that's making him shed tears? You know, it's like he's doing show off. Why will he shed tears? What's there? We just he only said so and so because you don't understand it, and because you don't understand the rahmah Allah has kept in the hearts of such people. Beg Allah to keep such rahmah in your heart. That's when you will understand. You will enjoy the sweetness of pondering on the creations of Allah, pondering on the words of Allah, till the extent that your eyes will be filled with tears. That's one of the rewards of it on the day of judgment. Also, warahmotulahi qalbuhu bil masjid. A man, number 3, is a man that his heart is so attached to the masjid. حتى يعني إذا خرج منه حتى يعود إليه. His mind will not leave the masjid since the time he leaves the masjid until he comes back. What does it mean? He doesn't miss salah in congregation at its time the way he ought to be praying. A man, it is compulsory for you to pray in the masjid in congregation at its time the way it ought to be prayed. Those 4 things, if you lose them, it's likely Allah will not accept your salah, except you have a Sharia valid reasons. If you don't have Sharia genuine reasons, if you pray it, Allah may not accept it. Your mind must be attached to the masjid. But note, we have genuine reasons to stay away from the masajid right now, during this pandemic of coronavirus. May Allah heal the world away from this pandemic and return us back to our masajid soonest. Also, warajulan tahabba fillah, 2 people that love each other for the sake of Allah. Ijtama alayhi, they gather upon the love of Allah, wa tafarraqa alayhi, and when they want to depart, they depart upon the love of Allah. Such people too will be under the shade of Allah when no shade will be used for except the shade of Allah. وَرَجُلٌ تَصَدَّقَ بِصَدَقَةٍ فَأَخْفَاهَا حَتَّى لَا تَعْلَمَ شِمَالُهُ مَا تُنْفِقُ يَمِينُهُ. A man that gives out sadaqah secretly, to the extent that his left hand does not know what the right hand has done, as secret as that. Make your sadaqah as secret as possible. But if there is an intention for making it open, probably to encourage people and the likes, then it's allowed. But you must be careful. If you know you're kind of person, if you do it openly, riyah will set in, then go back to doing it secretly. وَشَابٌ نَشَأَ فِي عِبَادَةِ اللَّهِ. A young child that grew upon the worship of Allah. You don't know the blessing you have for you to be born as a Muslim. You found Islam. Allah gave you Islam. Just like that. It's just like the statement of Imam Shafi'i, rahimahullah. You know what he says? He said, "Oh Allah, Ya Rabbi, razaqtani al-Islam wa lam as'aluk." My Lord, you granted me Islam. You gave me Islam. You blessed me with Islam, and I didn't ask you of it. Wa lam as'aluk. I didn't ask you for it, but you just gave me as a gift. Farzuquni al-jannata wa ana as'aluk. Now I am asking you of Jannah. Grant me, because I am the one asking now. If you could be so generous to grant me Islam without me asking at all, which is what will facilitate me getting Jannah. Oh Allah, I'm now asking you Jannah. Grant me Jannah out of your generosity. You having Islam from your childhood is a blessing. If you now maintain the Islam, you grow up with it till you grow old, it's a blessing. You maintain your spirituality, Allah will keep you under His shade when no shade will be useful except the shade of Allah. Mahalu shahid of this, that is the point of attention where that made us brought this hadith was that the Prophet said, "Warajulun," that's the last person. "Warajulun da'atuhu imra'atun dhatu mansibin wa jamalin faqala inni akhafullah." Someone, a man that is being called by a woman, dhatu mansibin, that has a very good lineage, a woman with a very good, honorable lineage, like that of the wife of the Aziz, wa jamal, in terms of beauty, she has it. Such a woman that if anything happens between you and her, she gets pregnant for you, or the likes, or you have one connection, then you probably see yourself in affluence because of that connection. She has a very good family lineage, is a family that you would love to marry from. And such a woman is giving you herself, that see me, I'm giving you myself, do whatever you like with me. And in terms of beauty, she has beauty up to the extreme. And you now say, Inni akhafullah. Such a man now says, I fear Allah, Rabbal Alameen, the Lord of the worlds. I cannot do this nonsense with you. If you want anything with me, then let's go for marriage. Was this not what Nabiullah Yusuf did? That was what he did, which made him qualify to be under the shade of Allah when no shade will be used to accept the shade of Allah. Subhanallah. Even though he's a prophet of Allah, he is qualified to be under the shade of Allah. He has another quality right in him. This is a meritorious quality that you need to possess. Controlling your nerves. Controlling your nerves. Moving forward, after she accused Nabiullah Yusuf of this, قال هي راودتني عن نفسي. Prophet Yusuf had no choice than to defend himself. She was the one that seduced me. وشاهد شاهد من أهلها. Someone now had to give a witness from the people of the house. Scholars discussed a lot of things on that. Ibn Abbas said a baby, Sabit, baby in the cradle. Some said it's an old man, but that's not what we are interested in. Someone gave a witness. And what did the person say? Oh, Al-Aziz, go check the boy. That is, go check Nabiullah Yusuf. In kana qamisuhu qudda min qubulin. If you find his clothes torn from the front, for sadaqat, that means she's actually saying the truth. He was the one that seduced her. Wa huwa min al-kadhibin. Yusuf happens to be lying. But wa in kana qamisuhu qudda min duburin. If you find his clothes torn from behind, fakadhabat, she is the liar. Wa huwa min as-sadiqin. He happens to be the truthful. فَلَمَّا رَأَى قَمِيصَهُ قُدَّ مِن دُبُرٍ. When his clothes was found to be torn from behind, because someone, if it is the man that wants to seduce her, she will be trying to protect herself. In trying to protect herself, dragging, his clothes will be torn from the front. But if he is being seduced and is trying to escape from it, dragging him back will make his own clothes torn from behind. That's the wisdom. So when they saw that his cloth was torn from behind, Qala, Al-Aziz said, the master, the minister, he said, Qala innahu min kaydikunna. This is from the plots of you women. Min kaydikunna. This is from the plots, the schemings of you women. Inna kaydakunna azim. Surely the schemings of you women is great. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the Quran, in Suratu Nisa, He said, الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ اللَّهِ وَالَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا يُقَاتِلُونَ فِي سَبِيلِ الطَّاغُوتِ فَقَاتِلُوا أَوْلِيَاءَ الشَّيْطَانِ إِنَّ كَيْدَ الشَّيْطَانِ كَانَ ضَعِيفًا. What did Allah say? He said, those that believe in Allah, they fight in the cause of Allah. Those who disbelieve in Allah, they fight in the cause of falsehood, the cause of evil. Allah said, as a result of that, wage war against the enemies, the allies of shaitan, because the schemings of shaitan, inna kaida shaitan, the schemings of shaitan, kana da'ifa, is weak. But what did Allah say about the schemings of women? Inna kaida kunna azim. The schemings of women are great. Any woman that comes to say, I have lost the attention of my husband, I have lost the sympathy of my husband, the control of my husband, the care of my husband, the everything of my husband, such a woman is not emotionally intelligent. If Allah could say, what I have given you, inna kaida kunna azim, is great, then what are you using it for? Are you using it for evil? Are you meant to use it for evil? No. Why can't you use it to gain your Jannah? Or you do not know that you are right in that house, you are right in your marriage because of Jannah? What actually made you get married? Why did you marry that man? Do you know why? Was it just because you loved him? Was it because you want to bear children? No. If that was your reason, you had the wrong reason of getting married. Change your intention today. What did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala say in Suratu Baqarah? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَا تَنْكِحُوا الْمُشْرِكَاتِ حَتَّى يُؤْمِنْ. Do not marry the mushrikat, the female idolaters, that is idolatress, حَتَّى يُؤْمِنْ, till they have believed in Allah. Because you marrying وَلَامَةٌ مُؤْمِنَةٌ, you marrying a slave, a female slave, she's in slavery, but a mu'mina, a believer, khayrun min mushrika, is best for you, men, than marrying an idolatress. Walau a'jabatkum, even that idolatress is catching your head. She controls your brain. You cannot control yourself anytime you see her. Even if that is the situation, you marrying that female slave that is a believer is best for you. Allah continued, وَلَا تُنْكِحُوا الْمُشْرِكِينَ. Do not marry the idolaters, men, you women, do not marry idolaters amongst men. حَتَّى يُؤْمِنُوا, until they become believers. وَلَا عَبْدٌ مُؤْمِنٌ, for you to marry a male that is a slave, still in slavery, خَيْرٌ مِّن مُشْرِكٍ, is better for you than you marrying an idolater. Even if he's in affluence, he has all connections, he has everything. Walau a'jabakum, he scatters your world. You cannot sleep without him. Every day you think about him. He's the sugar in your tea. He's the so in your cupboard. Even if that is the situation, you must not marry such a person. Why did Allah say this? Now, giving us the goal of marriage. Allah said, أُولَٰئِكَ يَدْعُونَ إِلَى النَّارِ. All these people will not invite you to anything except hellfire. All the things they will be enjoining you to do, instructing you to do, wanting you to do, wanting you to participate, to join hands together to carry out. The way you run the house, the way you train your children, the way you run your lives will be upon gaining hellfire. يَدْعُونَ إِلَى النَّارِ. They will be training you, calling you to nowhere except hellfire. But what does Allah want for you? وَاللَّهُ يَدْعُو إِلَى الْجَنَّةِ. Allah is calling you to Jannah. Allah wants you to gain Jannah. He wants you to gain Jannah from your marriage. وَالْمَغْفِرَةِ بِإِذْنِهِ. And He wants you to gain His forgiveness through your marriage with His permission. So if your goal for being in marriage is not to gain Jannah and to earn Allah's forgiveness, in a nutshell, earning Allah's pleasure, both in this world and the hereafter, if these are not your goals, then you are making a whole lot of mistakes. You need to change your intention right now. The reason for marrying your wife, the reason for marrying your husband should be to gain Jannah. Then if it is to gain Jannah, because is it easy? How can a man earn his money, suffer throughout the day, throughout a whole month? Sometimes he will feel so tired to go to work. He has no choice, he has to go. Sometimes he will feel like coming back early. He dares not do that because his obligations, his responsibilities are there waiting for him. He gets his salary or his income at the end of the month or whatever times he gets his income. he spends the majority of it on his family, on his wives, on his children. Hardly would he be able to get a single shirt for himself from that money. You think it is easy? If it is not because of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If it is not to gain Jannah, it is Allah that imposed this on us, and we have to do it. Because you must, and you doing it must be for the reason of gaining Jannah. You must not do it and start chanting evil words against your wife, against your children, blah, 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 blah. You must do it seeking Allah's pleasure, seeking Jannah. You must be happy doing it. Because as you are doing it, Allah is giving you Jannah in replacement. It is not in a normal situation to have a woman spending in the family. It's an abnormal situation. Oh Allah, all those found in these abnormal situations, may Allah return normalcy back to their homes. And if the husband is capable and is not spending, such a man is not capable of being a husband. Then as for a woman, one man will just say, now I'm in control of you. You never knew him from anywhere. He was not your father. You never knew him anywhere. He just came. All of a sudden, you said, oh, I want to marry you, or he wants to marry you. And you become his wife, and he starts telling you, no, you can't go out. No, you have to do this. No, you have to leave your work for a while. You have to do this and that. If not for Allah. So why can't you use that blessing of kaid Allah gave you to control your home, to gain the attention of your husband? Even if he has 4 wives, he doesn't have many wives, he just has 4. You will ensure that you are one in a million. How? Knowing who your husband is. How? Knowing what your husband needs and meeting him at that exact point. We have some men, the moment you can cook well and you serve his food at the right time, oh no, you control him. You have his heart. But if you are starving him of food, subhanallah, no matter how beautiful, how this and that you may be, you can never gain his attention. So if you know your husband to be this, and you are not giving him this attention, then why are you complaining of losing your home? Why are you complaining of losing the attention of your husband? You know what to do, you have not done it. Some husbands, it is their sexual right. Some, it is you giving them respect. And so many things like that. Because of time, I may not be able to highlight some of the things men require in women. Use that kaid al-azim, al-kaid al-azim that Allah gave you. Use it to study your husband, and you will thank me later. Study your husband, know what he needs, meet him at that point. Try your best. You are not doing it for him. You are doing it for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because it is Allah that ordered you. And you are not doing it for any other sake except to gain Jannah. Isn't it worth it? It's worth more than that. Jannah has covered more than what you feel you have done. Strive as much as possible not to lose the attention of your husband using the kaid, al-kaid al-azim Allah gave you. Because if Allah could say shaitan is disturbing the entire world, and Allah is saying the kaid of shaitan is weak, and everybody here till today, we have not found ourselves out of the shackles of shaitan except to the mercy of Allah. And Allah is saying the kaid of women is great. Then you are not using that kaid to have control of your home. You are not using that kaid to have the attention of your home. Then you are missing it out. Then you men too, do not tell your wives there's nothing you can do. She can do more than anything. No? Do not dare them. Don't dare women. If it's at a point you need to pet them, pet them. The Prophet ﷺ said women are like the ribs. If you try to straighten it at once, that don't know why you're doing this, you want to straighten it, he said you will break it off. And breaking it off, what does that mean? That is divorce. Because you can't turn her to a man. It's not possible. She's a woman and she remains a woman. So what do you do? And the Prophet ﷺ added, if you leave it, it will continue in its crookedness. It will continue to remain bent. In fact, it can bend more. So what do? You pacify, you blow, you tap. You blow, you tap. The tapping, I don't mean beating. I mean correcting with wisdom. Using a lot of wisdom to call your wife to attention. Using a lot of wisdom to correct her. And at some point, you have to pamper her for you to get exactly what you want. We'll stop here today, inshallah. We'll continue there tomorrow in the next episode. Wasallallahu wabarakatu ala nabiyyina Muhammad wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. May Allah grant us success and comfort in our homes and grant us tranquility in our homes. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik. Ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka